Hi, everybody. We're here at Encore Chat, and I hope you guys just checked out Robert Stevens, and you can see the multi-talent that the man has, obviously. And I just want to thank you for being here. Rob, thanks so much, my man, for coming.
My
I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Now, I got a lot of questions to ask you.
Okay.
All right? Guys, I want you to really listen to this.
Okay.
Give me what you started, like from the beginning.
The way beginning?
Yeah.
All right. From the very, very beginning, my mom and dad, who met in music school, we're both music majors. My mom was a vocal major. My dad, I think, was an education major. And I got my first piano lessons from my mom. Okay. You know, the minuet in G, you know, like everybody does. So I frustrated my mom to no end, and she sent me out to another teacher, and who I continued to frustrate until I got to maybe junior high school and heard James Brown and Santana, and it was, and I was like, wow. But it wasn't just that I heard the music. It was like I heard and saw people who could read it. I remember Neptune Junior High School. Hey, Mr. Marowitz, that's my band director from back then. I remember, and it really crystallized for me. What he did was he had the McGuire Air Force Base Jazz Ensemble to come in, and I don't know if you've ever heard them, but they are amazing. And what he did was, when we were in stage band, he had each of the players to come in, and for our recital, he had them to come in on one rehearsal and sight read our charts that we had been practicing for months. Wow! And it blew my mind. I was, back then I was playing alto sax, and this guy came in and he sat down at with my chart. I'm sitting right next to him, and he sight read this chart that I had been struggling and fumbling with for like weeks, and it totally blew my mind. So like from that point, I caught what a lot of guys call the disease of music, and could never really get rid of it.
Absolutely, you're kidding me. You're a bit, for sure, man.
That's pretty much how it works. So yeah, so that's kind of the beginnings. So I was listening to classical music, was aware of it. My mom and stepfather were ministers, so I was in gospel, and that's always been a part of what I've done and what I still do. And jazz and R&B. I've toured with all three, in all three genres. So yeah, I think it was a confluence of things, and just having my ears really open as a kid, where if I heard it, I felt like a responsibility at least to try to play it.
Wow, that's great. Yeah.
It's like I felt like I was supposed to know. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Now you bring up a good point, like you were saying before, how this guy sight readed your chart for the sax.
Yeah.
In your opinion, Rob, how important it is, and I'm trying to get this out to people, to learn that foundation of how to read and to have that music ability. In your honest opinion, I mean, pros and cons, as opposed to somebody that's just like self-taught. Okay. How important do you think that is?
Now, the way things are today, I'd say that in terms of popular music, and this might sound a little weird for somebody who spent so much time learning how to do it, it actually has become less important because it's so easy to produce. It's probably easier to produce a record now than it's ever been in human history. So on one level, no, you don't have to be a great sight reader to know how to make music, but I would say that if you're looking to be a professional musician as a player, it's something you need to know. If for no other reason, then it makes you aware of the repertoire of what's been done before. It's like I got to a point, particularly with my piano playing, that I was knocking my head against the wall because I didn't realize that all of the problems that I was having had already been solved.
You just didn't find them yet,
I
right?
just didn't. And it's like, oh, you mean Liszt actually worked that fingering out for you? It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
of course.
So it's like, it's helpful if you get a sense that everything that you're struggling with basically has already been done, and it's just a question of presenting it in a different way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. Now, how do you think? Like, and this is, what is your pros and cons on the internet? And the reason why I'm saying this to you, Rob, is because like what I find happens, and not all the time, but like I'll see a kid come into the store, which I think is great, and he'll sit there and learn that lick, "Sweet Child of Mine."
Yeah.
And you're impressed. You're impressed with a kid that's 11 years old going
That could sit and do that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Say, wow, that's great. But then when you dig a little further. And say, okay, cool. Let's do like a blues in the key of G, root 4/5. They're lost because they don't know what they're doing. They only know what they see, and they don't have that foundation. What's your opinion on that?
I feel like the internet, YouTube in particular, is a blessing. I
Okay.
mean, like I was talking to Joe before and saying that I think that's one of the biggest reasons that we have such an explosion of child prodigies in a way that we probably
Never did. Yeah.
yeah, not even close, because they can see the masters doing it. I mean, you can go on YouTube and you can study a John Bonham solo and slow it down and break it down in a way that you couldn't before at a younger age, but you do still need to have a sense of context, like what made John Bonham do what he did? What was the history of how all of that happened? What was happening in the 60s that made all these people come from Britain? Why Britain? Why then? Why now? It's like you have to have a sense of context that you can't get in a 30-second soundbite. So there's a balance that has to be there. You have to have a sense of perspective. But as a tool, you can't beat it as a tool.
Yeah.
But it's like you could if you give a hammer to an electrician, what good is it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You have to put the right tool in the hand of the person that's most able to use it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So that's what's important.
Yeah.
Well, are you playing anything coming up? I mean, maybe like people come check you out and see the versatility.
I haven't. I don't have anything booked at the moment in the
Okay.
area. Most of the things that I'm doing are in the city.
Okay.
I do a trio, a jazz trio at the Essex House on Northfield Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do that.
And when's that? When are you doing? When that's coming up?
We're talking now. I played there all winter. I've been on the road, and I came back in June, and
Where'd you go?
I was on the road with a play called "Ain't Nothing But the Blues."
Yeah. Okay.
And actually, my first real blues show, really, and the star of the show was Felicia Fields, who was a Tony Award nominee for her role in The Color Purple. And we were out in Milwaukee. We did a sit down tour. We were out there for about a good 3 months.
Wow.
And then after that, I left and did some gigs. I had the opportunity to play for the first time for the Chicago Blues Fest, which was really way cool. Years ago I did the Chicago Jazz Fest, but to see how Chicago response to that festival, it was amazing. It really was amazing.
It's just a good feeling.
That
That buzz, you can never get that.
Man,
That feel
it was really,
right.
It was really a big deal. And actually, that weekend I played at Buddy Guy's Club too. It was really cool.
Wow.
Very cool.
Oh, that's great.
Very, very cool.
You see, now you're doing and this is what he's just saying.
Yeah.
He's learned to read. He does everything. Like when you do that show, that Broadway, you got to read from a book, right? To do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, they had charts. But it's good to be able to. There were alterations that had to be made, but reading made it much easier.
Right. Yeah, just to kill it and
Made
do
it
it.
much easier. But you also had to. But like I was saying about the Buddy Guy gig, I got a call from this guy, Billy Flynn. Billy Flynn was involved with the soundtrack for Cadillac Records, the Etta James story, Grammy Award winner. And he called. It's like, oh man, you in town? Just come through. I need a keyboard player at Buddy Guy's Club. There was no rehearsal. There was no nothing. There was just the organ, and he's like, "Yeah, man, just play." He counted it off, and it was like you had to sink or swim. It was that kind of deal.
They threw you out there, huh?
but it was totally it was great. It was really actually. I think that performance is on the Buddy Guy website still.
Oh, okay.
Because it's streamed, and you want to go check that out.
Guys, check it out. You hear me?
So.
See what we're doing. And also, what's your website? I want everybody to know so they can come check you out.
Rob. RobStevensMusic.com. Yeah.
There you go, guys.
Rob Stevens Music.
Great. Now, Robert, I just want to thank you for coming and sharing your head and doing everything, and you know, you're just a humble guy, man, and that's what good. And that's what, like I always say, man, good musicians always are humbled. You know, it's the ones that talk a good game just don't suit up. You know, so that's the way I always think about it. You know, thanks so much, Robert. I appreciate it. Now, guys, please go out and check them out, okay, and do the website. And even if you're in the city, you know, you're going sometime, just check out the club scene and see what's going on. All right, and we'll talk to you soon. And thanks again for Encore Chat, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye. Thanks for tuning in to Encore Chat. My name is Pete Schmeedhauser, and I own a small music store called Schmeeds Music, which is located in the Pine Plaza Shopping Center in Whippany, New Jersey. I just want to thank you all for watching, and I just want to stress how important it is to learn, to play a musical instrument no matter what it might be, and to really, really better yourself in learning. And I just want to thank you guys and everybody for taking the time to watch our shows, and stay tuned for more videos to come.